back.
What up?
How you doing?
Stressing about this Thursday night game, bro. You know these things be making me sweat, man.
Yep. You got, what are you, 1-4?
We are 1-4 now.
Hey, there you
I
go.
am 1-4 on Thursday night picks. You are 3-2. I think you're 3-2.
I took the Giants one week, and I took someone else the other week. I don't know.
I think you're 3-2.
I think
we
only
should
done this
relay. I think
four
we should relay
times.
the picks though, like what our picks were, our record was going into this week. You know, I think you were 11-3. You had another 11-win week, and then I think I'm now at 9-5 last week. You got me on 2 games. You got me on that Niners Cards game where we picked opposite. You got the Cards, I got the Niners, and then I'm 0-3 picking against the Chiefs in prime time, and I should have known better when you said that, but I didn't. And you got me on 2 games, so I think you're 11-3 last week and 9-5 for me.
Yeah. Overall, I'm 37-25, and you're 29-33. So.
Yep. Nah, dude, you've been absolutely cooking, dialed in the last 2 weeks. 11-win weeks, both of the last 2 weeks, man.
Trying, man. Appreciate the love.
Yes, sir, bro. I mean, that's impressive. It's definitely noteworthy that your picks are like well above 500. You know.
Shit, I'll take the praise.
Dude, you should talk about that because your picks are legit.
I'm gonna let you talk about it because I don't like doing that. But Randy, keep hyping me up. Randy's my biggest hype man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, bro. You've been cooking.
And we were both well above 500 last week too. So
Yeah.
I think
last week we had a good beat on the teams.
as the season goes on, barring a crazy upset, I think we have a pretty good feel of the teams. So
Yep.
and we know kind of who's injured and who's out by now.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's just gonna keep getting better.
A lot of these teams are all banged up, man.
Yeah, it's the part of the game is like having that depth, and we'll get into the Browns game later. But let's start with
Yeah.
Niners and Seahawks.
Yeah, bro. I mean, major injuries on both sides for each team, but major injuries for both teams on defense. I think it's sketchy picking either team in this game. When I was putting my notes, the 49ers have beat them 5 straight times. All of those games are basically with McCaffrey. I think if there's anything that I would actually like pick for sure in this game, I'm liking the over. So they're going to be a little bit cold. Don't matter. These two teams are good offenses. Seahawks offensive line is suspect like we've talked about. But that Seahawks defensive front and then Niners injuries in the secondary, both teams are banged up and not going to have a lot of their key starters coming into this game. So I think this game is going to come down to, does Brock Purdy turn the ball over? You know, I've been struggling on these Thursday night games, you know, so I'm very hesitant to go with like what I believe in this game because I'm going to pick the Seahawks.
Okay.
But I think that Kenneth Walker is the better back. And in a game like this where both teams are banged up on defense, each of them, we looked at Kenneth Walker's stats over his previous matchups with the Niners, and he did not have big games when he played them. This Kenneth Walker looks different than the previous year's Kenneth Walker. I think that this game is a game where he could be a difference maker for the Seahawks to where they can dump the ball down to him, screen game. He could break a tackle or two and keep their offense on the field like they weren't able to do last week. I don't think this 49ers front is what the Giants defensive front 7 is. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks in this game.
Okay.
The only thing I really feel strongly about is the over. It's 49 points. With the injuries on both sides for each team or both teams on defense, I like the over, but I'm going to take the Seahawks though.
While you were talking, I tried to pull up the injury report.
Yep. I always hit the ESPN ones because that gives like the best actual questionable, doubtful, already called out.
Yeah. This is probably the only game that we'll have for sure an idea who's playing, who's not, because it's happening today.
Exactly. There's some games that have question marks next to who might not play.
Yeah. Jordan Elliott's out. Let's see. Hufwanga's out.
Yeah,
Udi's
Hufanga
out.
was a big one. They're also their corner too.
Travarius Ward is questionable. He was limited. Did not practice Tuesday. Limited today. Or no, did not practice Monday. Limited the past 2 days.
Yeah.
So he'll probably play.
He's probably going to play, but either way, he's banged up coming into this game.
Which means DK is probably going to eat this game. If I had to bet, after kind of a struggle,
That's
had
what
a
I was
fumble.
thinking.
Okay, so we're on the same page. Bet.
Yeah.
with all that being said, I'm going to pick the Niners. I think it's
the smart pick.
Coaching-wise, I think Kyle Shanahan is the better coach. Scheme-wise, I think Niners run a better scheme. I know they are kind of banged up, but Fred Warner had a full practice yesterday. George Kittle was full practice, so they're kind of getting more healthy. And I think after 2 losses over the past few weeks, where they give up a tough one to the Rams, and then they let the Cardinals come into town and come back and win against them, where they should have won that game. Thank God they didn't, but they should have.
Yeah,
I think that's a lot of reasoning to be kind of fired up on this Niners team. It is in Seattle. That's one of the factors I kind of was contemplating of, like, maybe I pick Seattle in this game, but I think, like you said, it's going to be probably high scoring with the injuries.
I think so.
And we'll see if Brock can handle the 12th man in there, but I think he does. I think they get the win.
Tariq Woolen is also out. So that's another thing to, like, consider in this game, is that Tariq Woolen's out. A lot of the players in the front for the Seahawks are out. So
Byron Murphy's out too.
Byron Murphy, yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm talking. Also, their edge rushers are banged up, maybe out as well. So there's a lot of defensive injuries in this game. But man, it's just I have a bad feeling about Purdy, and, like, there's some passes that he throws where they're, like, potential turnovers, and in a game where it's colder, it's in Seattle, home field. I'm gonna take the Seahawks, like, and you're taking the Niners. So we're I mean, if you're gonna go with anybody's Thursday night pick, you probably go with yours. But there was one thing that I did pull that was interesting from 2014 to 2021, like basically right before Kyle Shanahan got there.
Yep.
Seahawks were 15-2 versus the Niners, bro. 15-2.
That was during, like, Pete Carroll era.
Pete Carroll years, yeah. The Pete Carroll years, they really dominated this thing. But the 49ers have won 5 straight. A lot of this with McCaffrey, though. So
you're telling me after the debacle we had a few weeks ago with the Cowboys having that huge win streak against the Giants, and they won 5 in a row, you're picking the Seahawks? I'm not trying to change your pick. I'm just based on history and based on literally recent history of 2 weeks ago. Dude, I don't want you.
No, I hear you.
I don't want you to change your pick.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
No, I don't want you to change your pick, because if the Seahawks do win and you're giving all this reasoning, and then I say some bullshit and you're like, well, dude, I had them.
I mean, I think the Niners pass game is an advantage for the Niners in this game. I just feel like with it being colder, it's going to be a colder game. It's at nighttime. It's at home for Seattle. I think there could be some fluky tip passes that go the Seahawks' way that could help them win this game, which they are going to need if they are going to win.
Yep.
Straight up, if the game is a clean game, the 49ers will win. I'm kind of having a hunch that I think it could be a sloppier game from the 49ers.
All right. Fair enough. We'll move on to the Jaguars and Bears. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
I just think the only way the Jaguars can really win this game is if their edge rushers dominate. I mean, they have flashed a lot this season. I mean, Josh Hines-Allen has not flashed as much as maybe Trayvon Walker has at times, to be honest. Trayvon Walker went off last game against a pretty good Colts offensive line, so it's like, if you're starting to figure some things out, these Bears tackles are exploitable. The Bears have struggled to pass protect, but they've specifically struggled to pass protect against the blitz. This defense cannot blitz, so I don't really see a lot of ways that the Jaguars have an edge in this game. I was looking at their punt return game being something that could be a difference maker for them, and Duvernay's out. So it's like that was something that I was really concerned about coming into this game with him being out. I just don't really see a lot of ways that this Jags team has an edge in this game. I do talk about a little bit in the reviews. The Bears give up about one big run a week from opposing running backs, especially better ones. You're facing a pretty hot one right now with Tank Bigsby, so that's the only real thing that concerns me is that if they had a fluky game where they couldn't stop the run. But, I mean, over the course of Eberflus being the defensive play caller, we've shown that they have a baseline of good defense. They force turnovers. They stop the run. They make teams one-dimensional. Trevor turns the ball over. So I'm going to go with the Bears in this game. I think the Jags are just a bad team right now.
This one I think is going to be closer than I think you're maybe leading on. In my opinion,
I think it's going to be closer. I think the Bears should win, though.
I think I'm with you. I'm picking the Bears too, but I'm just I'm worried because Jaquan Brisker's out, and he's been such a dog for them through the
Agreed.
first 5 weeks.
For sure.
And Zach Piggins didn't practice. He's probably not going to play. Terrell Smith, not a huge piece.
He's been out those two have been out for a little while. I think that the Brisker injury is one that I'm looking at where it could be a effect on the game. Also, the opposite corner, 29 Tyreek Stevenson was also limited, but he should be playing.
Yeah, I'm worried about that. I'm worried about maybe the Jags found something in their offense last week where they put up 37 points or whatever it was against the Colts. Yeah. Granted, that Colts team is not fantastic on defense, and this is a way better Bears team. But, hey, they're 2-0 in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Man, I played soccer. I should be able to say that. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They're 2-0.
I'm not even going to try.
So, they're I think Jaguars are healthier. I think the Bears are a better team. I think this game is probably going to be like a 23-20 game. Yeah. But I'm picking the Bears, too.
Yeah, I think the Bears should be able to pull away at the end or be able to close out the game. I don't really see a lot of ways the Jags have an edge in this game.
Yep.
Especially with all the defensive injuries they have.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Let's see here. Let's go to Texans-Patriots. You got that one next too?
Yeah, I do. Massive injuries on the Patriots. And they're going to be starting Drake May. They're kind of throwing him into the fire, man. This Texans defense with the blitzes they bring and the pressure they're able to apply with the edges, dude, this is not the game you want to start Drake May, and they're doing it. Good QBs are able to overcome situations, and this is a situation where he's going to have to overcome a lot. So I'm really concerned about that for his, career outlook, starting him in a game like this. I think that with the Texans, they also have some massive injuries of their own as well. I don't know off the top of my head who it was again because I don't have the names listed, but I had a good red check next to them as well. I know Joe Mixon wasn't practicing, which is still a concern. Nico Collins is out, and then I think they had a defensive injury or two as well.
I'm on it. Sorry, I had to get my water.
No, it's all good.
Just in the sauna, just sweat everything out. My headache is coming back. Oh
man,
who are you looking back?
Texans injury report. I know that the Joe Mixon and Nico Collins as well. Let me see. Did not practice. Yeah, see, they had a lot of did not practices Wednesday. I mean, they're going to New England, so you never know. But, I mean, Jimmy Ward did not practice. Robert Woods, Laramie Tunsil, Kamari Lassiter, Titus Howard, Kenyon Green, Derek Barnett. That's a lot of did not practices in a game where they're favored by 6.5 at an opposing team's stadium. So I do think the line, I think, was 6.5 when I looked at it. I think it should be more like 4.5, 5.5, personally.
That's fair.
I think it should be a closer game than 6.5. Just because I think the Texans have shown that they're not dominating teams right now. They're more so winning the games they should win. So they should win a game they should win like this. But I think they have a lot of banged up pieces on offense to where this could be kind of a struggle for them at times. So I don't think this is a game where they just dominate and roll.
I'm with you. I think on paper, if you look at this game, you're like, dude, Texans are going to blow them out.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's tough to go into New England and play there.
Yep.
And the reason I'm going to pick the Texans is they're the better team.
Yeah.
I know Nico's out, but the Patriots' whole identity is out in Ramondre Stevenson. He didn't practice. His foot, I don't know what the hell is going on, but he didn't practice.
Yep.
And he's probably not going to play. So if he does play, he'll probably be in a limited role.
Yeah.
But he's their entire identity. I think last week getting benched kind of fired him up a little bit.
Agreed.
But they're getting Kendrick Bourne back, I believe, this week. So that's at least
they need
another,
some more depth at receiver.
Yeah,
they need another guy, a veteran like that.
At least they're getting somebody back for Drake May, but I think D'Amico Ryans is going to scheme up some treacherous looks for Drake May. So
that's what I worry about.
Yeah.
I think is going to be a problem. We'll see. I mean, maybe Drake May is sat and he's kind of more ready now. So I mean, I'm very excited to see how he handles this type of defense, though. But I think this game should be closer, though.
So who are you picking?
Texans as well.
Texans? All right.
Yeah, both got Texans.
Same page.
Yep.
Let's go Commanders-Ravens.
You start this one.
Man, this game is a sleeper. Sleeper, if you come into the year looking at this game, you're like, dude, Ravens
got a
at
dub.
home. Oh my god, this is a free dub. This is basically what I thought the Cardinals were thinking preseason too. Of like, dude, we got the Commanders at home.
Oh,
Little revenge game against Cliff. We're paying his ass.
the
Fuck
Cliff
him.
revenge
And then he
game.
puts up 42, and we get blown out. Right?
Yeah.
Ravens are rolling though, and that's the thing. I think if you see the Ravens, and this matchup was week 2. I think Commanders, that was kind of Jaden's breakout little, okay, this guy's actually the real deal. Week 2 or 3, you see this game, you're like, okay, maybe pick the Commanders in this one. I think the Ravens, they hear all the hype. They hear all the noise behind Jaden Daniels. You got to remember, he's a rookie quarterback. He's going to make mistakes. And I think in Baltimore is where those mistakes are going to happen. I'm going to pick the Ravens in this one.
I hear that. I think just after seeing Jaden go into Cincinnati in prime time, I don't think he's going to get rattled by an environment like this. I do see there's some injuries in the Ravens secondary. I do see that Brian Robinson for the Commanders did not practice. So I'm like, if Brian Robinson's not playing, that's a big hit for them, especially in their short yardage ability.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that I don't think that home field and going into a hostile environment is going to rattle Jaden. I don't think this defense is as sound as it was last year. If this was last year's Ravens, I'm picking them all day. This year's Ravens, their defensive fundamentals are kind of lacking, man. Their tackling and their blown coverages are just glaring to me. So it's like, I know everyone's going to pick the Ravens, and I know that the Ravens are 6.5-point favorites, and it's because they're at home. It's because it's Lamar. It's because he's won MVP last year, and he's looking like he could do it again. There's something about Jaden, his weight, his ability to handle pressure, his composure, the way that they're able to run the ball, and that teams are not able to get a hand on him and hit him. You know, I think that this is going to be another game where they're not able to hit him like they should be able to, because this Ravens defense isn't attacking as much as they were last year. So I think with that, and then also too, I think this Commanders defense is a little underrated. I think they're playing a lot better than I personally thought they would. Their secondary, I don't think this is going to be a game where they're just getting exploited. They're not having a lot of blown coverages. Playing Jamar Chase was one thing, but playing other weaker offenses with lesser receiving talents is another thing. This Ravens receiving talent is not going to be blowing by this Commanders defense, and their front seven is not as bad as I thought it would be. So I think that this game is going to be very close. I do not think that it's going to be 6.5 points like it's projected to be. I'm going to pick the Commanders in this game, and I think that people are going to be surprised and even more rookie of the year talk from Jaden.
Okay. I don't hate it. With the way he's playing, it's kind of tough to be like, I think it's a dead stop. But
no one's been able to hit him yet.
yeah, I think John Harbaugh is going to scheme up and be like, dude, I think Lamar, too, is like, everyone's kind of comparing Jaden Daniels to Lamar.
He didn't
and
like that.
He hated that. You sent me that
Yeah.
thing. And I think Lamar kind of feels a little bit like, dude, this kid is not going to come into my crib after I won not back-to-back MVPs, but 2 MVPs. Basically, everyone's saying like, oh, well, including myself, he's a better pocket passer than me.
Yeah.
He's a better pure passer. Watch this. That could lead him into some trouble. If Lamar tries to do too much, which he did in the Chiefs game in the playoffs and in the beginning of the year this year, that might kind of get in the way of how this game's going to go. If Lamar just stays within the offense, and when it's time to make MVP-type play, he makes the play like he did last week, I think the Ravens get this done. That's my reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I think the Ravens' run game is not as efficient as it looks on paper, too, because you look at on paper, Derrick Henry's got 200-yard game versus the Cowboys, 200-yard game against the Bills, 80-some yards against the Bengals in the shootout. He's ripping long runs, and then he's not as efficient throughout the rest of the game, and it's like, that's kind of what Henry does. But I do think that if you do prevent the long run, this Ravens offense is kind of inefficient, and they do put a lot of pressure on Lamar to keep the drives alive. So I think that there's just some inefficiency and some, I think, underrated with the Commanders that I didn't see coming. I questioned Dan Quinn, and if, as a head coach, his defense would not translate. It seems like he's got some of his veterans and his guys playing pretty well and playing fast. So I like the Frankie Louvu, Wagner, and the D tackle duo to be able to force some 3-and-outs, get their defense off the field. So I'm going to take the Commanders.
All right. Let's move on to Browns and Eagles.
I mean, the only thing that can stop this Eagles team from blowing out the Browns is if Jalen Hurts just loses his mind and throws 3 picks. I mean, and even if that were to happen, that Browns defense and team as a whole is so banged up that it's like I don't really see a way where they're able to just put together a game plan to win this game. I think this is a very easy win for the Eagles. They're getting healthy, coming off a bye week, and I don't think this team wants to play for Deshaun. They're forcing him out there because they have so much invested in him, and I think this coach might be tied to him a little bit. So I think that with the combining of factors, I think this game is just really tough look for the Browns.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett not being healthy either, just killer.
Yeah. Like you said, someone's gonna have to like blow up the stadium for this game to not like go the Eagles' way.
You could throw Kenny Pickett out there, and the Eagles are probably still running away with it.
Probably, honestly, which is sad if you're a Browns fan.
Yeah.
But
so much expectation on this season.
Yeah, it's sad that like an organization is so worried about them making themselves look bad that they're willing to basically waste a season to kind of save their ass and be like, nah, Deshaun's our guy. You know what I mean? It's sad how big these egos are getting where it's like, dude, come on. Like, it would honestly, if you just came out and was like, dude, we were dead wrong about Deshaun. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was a great quarterback in Houston, not in Cleveland, and we're going to move on from him. I think everyone on the planet would respect this Browns organization a lot more.
Yeah. I don't think the team wants to play for him.
Yeah, they don't want to play for him. It's so obvious to see.
Like, look at read off the injury report. If you got it pulled up, like,
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, pull up the ESPN Browns injury report and just look at the list. It's ridiculous. Like the amount of guys they have out, like damn near their entire O-line, defensively, secondary, Njoku, like everyone. Nick Chubb's not back still.
Denzel Ward's out.
Denzel Ward too, exactly.
Myles Garrett, Deontay Foreman, Del Pitt, Mark Cooper.
It's like their entire starting 22 is just like on the injury report or out. It's ridiculous.
And on the flip side, the Eagles
are getting
full
healthy.
Practice. A.J. Brown, full practice. Devontae Smith,
full practice. Lane Johnson,
full practice. Lane Johnson, yeah. Full practice. Reed Blankenship. Like
they're getting back.
They're getting back to form, and I think the Eagles are going to kind of hit that stride and make a push because it's all Commanders right now for that division, right?
Yeah.
It's all Commanders. The Eagles are kind of, I think, hearing that right now, and they're probably going
to more veteran team.
Yeah, they're probably going to
play in terms of playing together.
Yeah. In terms of playing together.
Commanders have some veterans, but not together playing for years like the Eagles have.
And under Sirianni, like it's a whole new different coaching over there in Washington too. So
yeah, I kind of question the Eagles coaching a little bit. I think Vic Fangio's not been as impressive as he was for the one season with the Bears, or his couple seasons with the Bears, really. And then Saquon's really kind of carrying this offense a bit. You know, the offensive line looks great. Saquon looks great. A.J. Brown looks great. Devontae Smith does his thing. Jalen Hurts turning the ball over. Coaching is a question with the Eagles, I will say. And that's something to monitor as the season goes on. But I think for a game like this with all the Browns' team momentum, injuries, it shouldn't be close.
No brainer, in my opinion, too.
Yep.
Let's go to Cardinals and Packers.
You go first.
All right. Holy shit, we escaped with a win last week. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, and I'm not delusional. I think last week I just had a feeling that there was something brewing. And notoriously, after a Cardinals' big win, they just fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
They win a big game, and then all of a sudden, the momentum they have just plummets the next week. Going into Lambeau is not tough, or it's not an easy thing to do. It's tough, and honestly, I don't really see. I see if Marvin can be efficient against Jair. I believe he's back. Let me.
Yeah, it
check.
looks like he's gonna be back this week.
Yeah.
He was limited practice.
News on
That was
is
one
not
thing
as
I was
good.
following.
Um,
It's tough
limited
too
to
because it's
open
Thursday.
week.
You know, we haven't seen the Thursday injury report,
Yeah.
Friday injury report. So this is a projection that he's gonna play.
I'm gonna count on he plays, which is worst case scenario for the Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
I think we can if Petson can scheme up some looks for Marv that are just not go balls and back shoulders, like scheme up some routes for Marv to run. I think there can actually be some success there, even against Jair. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of young and not so talented corners in the Packers. That draft and develop thing they got going on is hurting that position.
Yeah. I can see the Cardinals maybe squeaking out a win. It's just I don't trust their kicker. They have a backup in there for Prater, and I'm not a.
I saw that. Yeah, Prater was like on the injury report or whatever. Yeah, I didn't know if he wasn't gonna play or whatever, but you know better than I do.
Yeah, I'm not. Let me verify real quick, but I don't believe he's gonna be back.
It looked like he was limited with some kind of injury.
Yeah, he was limited with the left knee injury. I don't know. Will Hernandez went down too. Sent them to IR. Done for the season. Like in the press conference with Gannon, someone asked him straight up, "Can we expect to see Will back this season?" He said, "Nope."
Yeah.
So that's pretty clear cut, and our entire right side of the line is in shambles. We have like a third string.
Gary.
Rashawn.
This front seven of the Packers is very talented.
I will say, Darius Robinson, limited practice.
I know. I know you've been talking about him for like a couple weeks now.
I'm telling you, when he gets back fully healthy, he is going to be a problem, and I can't wait for everyone else to see it. But I was obviously monitoring Cardinals training camp pretty heavily, watching like training camp footage.
Yeah,
he looks like an absolute animal. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes on and just has a like Aiden Hutchinson type of game where they don't really have film on him yet because he hasn't really played.
That's a factor with some players.
Exactly, and that's going to play right into. I hope they don't rush him back too soon because calves are weird and you can easily tweak a calf again or strain it. But with all the injuries to the Cardinals O-line, I'm going to pick the Packers in this one. Hurts my soul, but.
Yeah, I think that some of the injuries, like you talked about with the Cardinals, are a factor. I think that the teams, if you're playing in Arizona, I might lean a little bit towards the Cardinals being able to make this a close game.
Yeah,
I think the Packers' front seven is very talented and is going to make it tough for Kyler Murray and that offense. But I just think there's two things that are like outside of like what people are looking at factors in this game as well that could make an impact. This game's being played at 10 a.m. Eastern time in Green Bay, you know, to where the Cardinals are having to travel across the country. They're playing really an early morning game, so they're already like going to be thrown off by the time switch. And then also too, it's going to be about 50 degrees and rainy, you know, and like Kyler Murray throwing the ball in 50 degrees and rainy in an early morning game. I don't really like that. I think those are two things that when I looked at this game, I actually wanted to lean more in the Cardinals' favor because I do like James Conner and the way he's playing. I know the Packers of their own do have some injuries where they could be missing some key players, like Devontae Wyatt, I think was going to be out. Their D tackle they drafted last year, I believe. And this team is susceptible to the run game. So James Conner could have a game and make this close, and they could try to shorten it. I just don't see a good situation if the weather conditions are what I'm expecting them to be with Kyler Murray passing the ball. So you never know. I think this is a game where, I mean, the Packers, they've shown a tendency to turn the ball over, you know. Jordan Love does that. I don't trust him in terms of having clean games, but he also makes special plays.
Yeah.
So I think this is a really weird game where I'm also going to go with the Packers, but I don't like it. You know, I don't, for whatever reason, I do not like, I do not feel good about picking the Packers in a game like this. I think it's going to be an ugly game by the Packers, but they should win.
It might come down to kicking, and that's why I'm kind of worried about that.
But the Packers kicker
he's out too, I think.
That rookie? Check it out, bro, because that Packers rookie kicker is
A little
rough.
sus, yeah.
He's rough. Like, he's probably one of the worst kickers in the league.
Yeah.
I forgot about him. Ooh,
He
man. Ooh, I do not want to pick the Packers in this game,
dude,
Yeah.
I'm not holding you to anything.
Yeah, I know. I just really do not feel good about the Packers in this game.
I'm with you. I think in Arizona, this is probably a different game. I think if we were home in Glendale, I think everyone coming off going a road trip to San Fran, like that would kind of make everyone feel a lot more comfortable. But back-to-back road games and playing at the Niners, which we've notoriously you've brought up are bad in, and going to Lambeau in a rainy kind of muddy, going to be probably a shitty game.
But that's a James Conner kind of game.
It is a James Conner, but it's also a freaking I'm blanking on the running back's name. Josh Jacobs type of game and Emmanuel Wilson type of game.
I'm not that crazy about Josh Jacobs though.
Dude, you're contemplating.
Yeah, I really like my gut feeling is telling me to pick the Cardinals in this game.
Right.
For the sake of my picks and wanting to like not do some crazy shit, I want to pick the Packers. Like my gut is telling me Cardinals in this game it's gonna be a weird game, but I think the temperature. I'm gonna just stay with the Packers, but I do think the travel, early game, rainy and cold, is gonna play a factor in the Cardinals' passing game to where like those outside receivers are not gonna be as much of a factor and be able to take advantage of the mismatches at corner. So I'm gonna stay with the Packers. But I don't know. This is a weird game where Packers special teams, skill positions. Like, this is not a game where you just, the Packers are going to win it.
Yeah.
Well, dang, too. But then Jordan Love turns the ball over, and if they can't run the ball and the receivers aren't good because it's ugly game. Oh,
you know where Marvin played college football, right? What type of games he played in?
Dog.
It's always rainy and cold.
You know what, bro?
Ohio.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Put the Cardinals on me.
All right.
Because I don't know, dude. I just think James Conner, I think Trey McBride, and also too just I do not like the Packers' skill position players. I don't like the way Jordan Love turns the ball over. If the Cardinals are able to stop the run of the Packers, dude, like this is a bad situation for the Packers. And also too their kicker, they miss kicks, like they have a deficiency in special teams, like this is a game the Packers I think could totally blow it. I'm gonna pick the Cardinals.
James Conner played in Pitt for a while.
Yeah. Nah, I'm going Cardinals. I've wanted to pick the Cardinals, and I'm like trying to talk myself into the Packers. I just don't like it. I think they make too many mistakes, and they're too deficient in the skill position players that where you need to win. And in a game where this is like cold, ugly game where if you can't run the ball, this is gonna put a lot of pressure on Jordan Love to be a game manager, and he doesn't manage the game well. I'm going to take the Cardinals.
Dude, the more we talk about it, the more I'm just like, the more points I bring up, I'm like, dude, that kind of falls the Cardinals' way. That kind of falls the Cardinals'
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is – I'm just going to go with my gut feeling on this game. I've been wanting to pick the Cardinals. I circle the Packers. I just don't like it.
I'm rolling with the Cardinals, too. Fuck it. We're
We're
going
going
AZ,
Cardinals.
baby, all the way. Let's
We're
go.
going Cardinals.
Come on now. Yeah, I think, dude, everything I'm saying is going against –
The travel and weather conditions concern me, but I think that also makes – a sloppy team like the Packers look potentially even worse.
Yeah, and if Jair doesn't play for whatever reason, even if he does play, I'm telling you,
I think it's a McBride type of game. This is a McBride type of game. I don't like the Packers tight ends that much. I know what's his name, and not Luke Musgrave, but the other guy. He had a good game last week, but Tucker Kraft. I don't see many advantages for the Packers in this game, and I think Kyler Murray is a quarterback that if you keep the game close, he makes plays to win the game. You know, I think that he is a quarterback that does do that. You don't want to get out of a shootout with this Cardinals team. I think they keep the game close though.
Dude, I'm so glad you're on the Cardinals train. Let's go. Hey,
I mean, I'm on my picks in terms of Cardinals games. I'm not doing well in this season.
You're what, 0-3?
0-5. Pick Cardinals
5.
games.
Oh yeah, all time.
Because I picked them to beat the Bills in week 1. That was my like big pick for them. I thought they would take, and no.
Something's just stirring inside me with just Cardinals fandom right now. So I'm with you. Both picking Cardinals.
I just think the Packers are too sloppy, and if the game is also a sloppy game as well with these receivers that don't make up for any kind of mistakes. I'm worried about this Packers team losing a game like this.
I'm with you. Let's go to Bucs and Saints. Spencer Rattler, first NFL start from Pinnacle.
Yeah.
You played against them.
Yeah, Boulder Creek did. Yeah, we saw him in live when he was in 2018. Pretty crazy. Very impressive athlete.
He's insane, bro.
Very
College
impressive athlete.
High school, he was insane.
His arm talent is off the chain, bro, for sure. He's very impressive. But that Saints injury report is also impressive with all the names they got on there. So, Bucs getting healthy at the right time. Saints at home with all the injuries. I don't think it helps them much. So, I mean, Todd Bowles did struggle against a rookie quarterback already this season to where he didn't put pressure on him and make him make mistakes. With all the injuries the Saints have on their offensive line, I think that Vita Vea and maybe if Kalijah Kancey come back, that this should be a game where they're able to take more advantage of that. So I'm going to take the Bucs. I just don't see a lot of ways that the Saints have advantages in this game.
Yeah, Bucs, I think this is pretty clear in my opinion. I think Bulls did, like you said, he didn't really get after the rookie quarterback, and he got some
Bo Nix
backlash for that. So maybe
that was shocking to me that he didn't pressure a rookie quarterback like Bo Nix.
Yeah, and Bradley, I'll tell you what, he's going to make some crazy throws, but he's also going to throw the ball in harm's way. Like, he's going to make some
his first start.
Yeah, turnover-worthy plays for sure, and this Bucs team is getting healthy. Their teams are kind of going like this. Saints are on the way up, Saints are on the way down, Bucs are on the way up in terms of health. And like you said, that injury report, I just pulled it up while you were talking.
There's just
a lot of
Saints
DNP
injury reports. It's just they got some guys that aren't going to be playing again, offensively, defensively. There's not a lot of help for Spencer right now.
I'm with you.
But the team is fully healthy. I really like the Saints team. It's just their health, man. It's just killing them.
What do you always say?
When you get them.
Yep. It's about when
you
get them.
Bucs are getting healthy.
Yep. And it's not like conditions are going to be a factor. It's in the dome. So.
Indoor.
I'm good with this game. Are you?
Bucs.
Yeah. Colts, Titans. What are you thinking?
I wanted to pick the Colts in this game, but I just you look at the injury report of the Colts. This is where we're doing it on a Thursday morning. We don't have the Thursday injury report, so this is a game that could flip depending on how the injuries play out come Sunday. But you're looking at a lot of weapons for the Colts not going to be there. I think Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, and also potentially Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon's not good. I don't really like him as a player. I think he doesn't really add anything as a running back. He doesn't provide much. But this Titans team coming off a bye week, getting healthy, I think that they're ready to get their second win on the season. So I think that there is some good to this Titans team. I don't think they're a horrible team. I think they're kind of starting to lay a foundation of what they want to be going forward. Hopefully Will Levis doesn't blow the game. We got a bunch of memes from him early on. But, I mean, in some of these games, he's actually very efficient. But he just makes this crucial mistake and just blows the game away. So, I don't know. I mean, he could do that at any given moment. So, it's a concern picking the Titans. But just given all the injuries that the Colts have, and if Anthony Richardson's playing, especially with all the deficiencies, I like the Titans in this one.
This is about, especially when you see him. Like this entire Colts depth chart, their entire starting skill positions are DNP, questionable, out. Like Jonathan Taylor, probably going to be out. Their backup is out. Tyler Goodson's going to be running the football. I don't even know who that guy is, to be honest.
And I think when you take away the playmakers from a guy like Anthony Richardson, I mean, you still have Alec Pierce out there. You still have Adonai Mitchell. It's going to take a lot for them to be able to just pull this game away from the Titans. I mean, I think the Titans are actually kind of a good team.
Yeah, I think they've kind of underachieved so far.
Underachieved.
Because Will Levis.
They blew some games.
Yeah, Will Levis has sold them some games. I think
they should have beat the Bears, and they could have beat the Jets as well.
Yep, they could have, but they didn't.
Yep.
And I think that bye week is a time for teams to kind of regroup and get their shit together.
And they're getting healthy, too, right now.
They are. Yeah. I think everything is just like the last game. I think the Colts are on the decline. Titans are on the come up. I I'm picking the Titans too.
Yeah, I think there's just not a lot of factors that go the Colts' way this game. Alec Pierce is very impressive and can't flip a game if they keep it close, though.
Yep. I'm with you. Let's go Chargers Broncos.
Chargers Broncos. Did I miss that game? I guess I missed that game. Well, I mean, either way, though, I just don't really see a lot going the Chargers' way. I mean, no, their whole identity is to be physical. They're trying to lay the foundation of what they want to do going forward. You'll have to catch me on those injuries because I don't know how, but I guess I missed this game in doing my prep for the week 6. But, I mean, just looking at the game, the matchup, I don't really like the way Justin Herbert's playing. I like the way the Broncos defense is playing. I think that Bo Nix is protecting the football. He might be due for an interception or two. You never know. I mean, I just think they're starting to gain confidence as a team, and this is a game that divisional game, yes. Let me go ahead and pull up right now what we got. Go ahead and read off the injuries while I look up the history between the two teams because I want to check that out.
Joey Bosa didn't practice.
Yep.
Dicker the kicker is sick. Didn't practice. Gus Edwards didn't practice. Kristen Fulton didn't practice. Derwin James didn't practice. Asante Samuel didn't practice.
And Asante Samuel.
Josser Taylor didn't practice. And the only people who didn't practice for the Broncos were Josh Reynolds, Alex Palkowitski, and Luke Wadenberg. Everyone else is limited to full. Yeah, I think this Broncos team is rolling. Who were you talking about? Leaning more toward
Broncos.
Okay, good. Right,
I'm leaning more towards the Broncos.
Yeah.
I think that just the team momentum, the way they're playing, they're just a very well coached team. Chargers as well. I just think that with the way the offense is playing, Justin Herbert's playing, injuries that they are kind of relying on defense in terms of being playmakers. It's just they don't really have a lot of talent that's going to be able to make up for some of the deficiencies they have as a team right now as they're trying to find their way and rebuild this team. So around Justin Herbert, who they're hoping can kind of play better, maybe down the stretch in the next season. But he's not looking good so far this year.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are just healthier. In Denver, too, is going to be a tough one for the Chargers, too.
Yeah.
They're banged up.
Chargers have kind of had their number a little bit, too, as well. I mean, they played them in December twice last year, so it was 24-7 and 16-9 in favor of the Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos.
But, yeah, I don't see much of a edge for the Chargers in a game like this.
I'm with you. Broncos for me, too. Let's go with Steelers Raiders. Let's talk about it.
This was a tough one. There's a lot of injuries on both sides. Steelers, their trenches are just decimated right now. TJ Watts. I mean, we talked about it in the team previews. Like, if this Steelers defense was going to be able to hang in games, it's going to be because TJ Watt is wrecking the game, and he's done it a lot this year.
Yeah.
Probably on another defensive player of the year type of campaign. It's just all the other injuries around him kind of concern me in a game where the Raiders, I like Brock Bowers a lot, you know. I know the Raiders also have some injuries as well. I don't like the way Justin Fields is playing. I think that he's kind of regressing from the first 3 weeks. We saw him build up his confidence to where he was starting to hang in the pocket, trust the protection, know when to run. Steelers were able to run the ball. Cordero Patterson's been out, though. He's not going to play again. And when you look at Jalen Warren out, Cordero Patterson out, non-explosive Najee Harris, who you can kind of give the ball to in short yardage, but he's not as tough of a runner as you need him to be for his size and physical presence. I just worry about the Steelers being able to put up enough points to put away a Raiders team that does have some playmakers and is kind of hungry for a win, you know. So I think that this is going to be an ugly game either way. I'm going to end up picking the Raiders in this game. I wanted to pick the Steelers, but just with all the injuries and players they're going to have out, especially in their trenches on both sides of the ball, it's just tough for me to see them being able to put away a team with bad trench play, bad QB play, no run game, not a lot of weapons. I think Brock Bowers could have a game this game.
I'm with you. I think I like the points you made.
Yeah.
However, I'm picking the Steelers because I think that loss on Sunday Night Football. I think left a very bad taste in the mouth of everyone there. Whatever they call the new field, I'm calling it Heinz Field.
Heinz Field is fine.
Yeah, going into it. The Cowboys. I mean, they're a stop away from winning that game. Like, it's 4th and goal. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Dak made a play, and Tolbert made a play, and that was pretty much it. But like, the Steelers played a very good game defensively again. I know,
That Cowboys team was moving the ball up and down the field on them.
but when it counted, they just held them to field goals and made them punt. When they bent but didn't break. And
Yeah.
I think with this Raiders team, way less talented in offense, and Steelers are going to be contending for the AFC North title. I know it's kind of mucky at the top right now, but I think this Mike Tomlin-led team is going to be kind of looking to bounce back against the Raiders team. I think they should beat, to be honest. So I'm picking the Steelers.
They should beat them.
Yeah.
And that's been a thing with the Raiders and Steelers over the course of their history. They always have these weird games against the Raiders, though. You know, it's like whether they're heavy favorites or not so much. I mean, other than when Jimmy Garoppolo was playing for the Steelers, for the Raiders, they were able to get him. But I mean, the Raiders always put up a tough game against the Steelers whenever they do get a shot to go at them. So I think that it's just gonna be an ugly game either way.
Yeah,
I think that either team could win or lose the game. I mean, Aiden O'Connell's starting. I don't think it matters too much. Both of them are about the same QB. I think Aiden O'Connell pushes the ball down the field a little more. I wonder how much of a leash Justin has, because he started 3-0, lost 2, regressing a little bit. Russell Wilson's healthy. I wonder how much of a leash Justin has, and if this is a game where he could get benched, or if it's like if he loses, he gets benched. So that's the thing I'm going to keep an eye on this game is how much of a leash Justin has.
I think this is a Minkah Fitzpatrick defensive touchdown game.
He hasn't had one in a while.
This just feels like such a
It does.
pick six special team block punt, something like that.
I think also the Raiders secondary is kind of underrated too. Jack Jones could do the same.
Maybe. I'm banking on Minkah though. I think Minka's kind of due for a
Jack Jones versus Pickens is gonna be funny.
Yeah, Pickens is a thug, bro. He's in the best way. He's a badass.
Oh yeah.
But I'm picking the Steelers. Let's
I'm
go.
going Raiders.
What's the next game on this list? Lions, Cowboys.
You got them written down, by the way?
Huh?
You got them written down, by the way?
What's up?
Oh, the picks and stuff like that? Oh, bet. Cool.
Yeah.
Lions. You said Lions, Cowboys?
Yep.
I think this is the game. This is a game where the Cowboys' injuries catches them a little bit more. I think that the only way that the Cowboys can really hang on this game is if Goff is turning the ball over and the Cowboys do what the Giants do and they control the time of possession. And, I mean, Dak is doing a really good job of completing the passes, taking what the defense is giving him. CD versus the secondary is a W for the Cowboys, but in terms of their defense, what they can do versus this offense of the Lions coming off a bye week, a tough matchup, I think, for them, especially because if they can't stop the run, the play action that kills teams off the run that the Lions do, that could eat this game. And the Lions, I think, are getting a little healthy. I think this should be an easy win for the Lions. Should be.
Yeah.
But I think there's a few things that could make it closer.
Yeah. I think Cowboys, you could also say Steelers were a play away from winning the game. Cowboys were a play away from losing it. And they didn't look great the entire time.
Dude launching himself over the pile.
Bro,
the fumble was
insane, bro.
That's so insane.
Who was that? Freaking
Orlando Roberts or whatever
Landon Roberts.
Yeah, that dude was nuts, bro.
That was one of the craziest plays I've ever seen. But
that was so much fun. That's such good football.
It is. And I mean, for how maybe boring, quote unquote boring that game was.
Yeah.
It had some plays like that where I was like, dude, that was fucking sick. But
yeah, that was sick.
Tolbert getting drilled in the nuts and then catching a game-winning touchdown pass to play after sick too. Yeah. Back to this game. Lions, I think, are coming off a bye week where they can just get everything dialed in. And they're watching film from this Cowboys-Steelers game on Sunday night. And I think this Lions team just kind of takes advantage.
I think they should be able to take advantage of the Cowboys' injuries more than a Steelers team that's a little inconsistent did.
Yeah, and I think this might be
Lions run the ball.
Aiden Hutchinson type of game too against a rookie Tyler Guyton who has struggled mightily.
Good point as well.
They're gonna whatever way they want to go with this. If Guyton he's obviously left tackle, I think no matter what they line up Hutchinson on that side and just be like, dude, take this rookie to town. And I think this Lions offense is gonna pound the football, pound the rock, wear this Cowboys team down. They might not look pretty early in this game. I think the Cowboys are going to probably key in on that run.
Yeah.
But over the course of a game, that play action is going to get set up. You're probably going to see.
I think it's going to be a Jahmyr Gibbs game.
I could see that too. I'm also thinking
Montgomery, he's the engine, like we've mentioned, but I think Gibbs could get going this game.
I'm also feeling like a JMO,
he's gonna score again.
Yeah.
Jamison Williams will score again this game.
So
100%.
I'm picking the Lions too. I think we're in agreement there.
For sure.
Let's go next game. I'm doing this.
We got Falcons Panthers.
Yeah, Falcons Panthers next game. Let's talk about it.
I mean the Panthers, bro. I mean, I don't really see any way that the Panthers are able to win this game. I don't see any world that they're able to steal one. I mean, I looked at the previous history just to see if I was overlooking anything. And the home team has won the last 4 matchups between these two teams, so it's like, okay, like Panthers are at home, but dude, they just got the strength of their entire team that they have left is their offensive line, and they're down 2 starters now at the offensive line. I think the whole right side of the line is just trashed now. So it's like, I know this Falcons pass defense has struggled, and I know Chuba Hubbard is moving the ball on the ground really well. I just don't see a way where this Panthers team is able to put up the points that they're going to need to be able to steal a game like this from a division rival. I think that this is Falcons offense doing whatever they want to do against the worst pass defense and maybe the worst defense in the league. And they put Bryce in a little bit last game to protect Andy Dalton.
That's
the coach
so
said that.
Bad.
They put Bryce Young in the game to protect Andy Dalton, not to get Bryce back out there because they were down. They wanted to protect Andy Dalton.
Who said that?
The head coach.
Canal or what's his face?
What's his name? Dave Canales. The head coach said that he is trying to protect Andy Dalton, and he put Bryce Young in.
I just punched the mic on accident. My bad.
Ain't that's like one of the most
insane.
wild things that I've ever heard is that they put in their young QB to protect a guy like Andy Dalton, who's like 36. I just had to put that in there because I heard that, and I was just like, yo, that is insane, bro. Falcons got a little bit of injuries, but I don't see any way the Panthers are able to slow them down enough to steal a win.
This hurricane shit is messing with me because I just looked up the weather.
Oh.
And it was in Carolina, right?
What is it? Yeah.
It's 79 and sunny on Sunday. So I'm like, dude, is this like a phantom hurricane I'm talking about? Like, obviously it's not, but it's, I mean,
you just
kickoff
triggered.
is 71 degrees and sunny, bro.
Yeah,
it's
you just
beautiful.
triggered a bunch of Carolinians.
Yeah, a bunch of Florida. It's not fake. It's real. Shut it. We don't get rain here.
We're about to get canceled.
I don't think rain even exists here.
We're about to get canceled for making fun of the hurricane.
Milton's a bitch. And just kidding. Joking. Yeah, I'm with you. I looked up the weather because I was like, maybe an ugly game they could like batter Chuba Hubbard into the ground, maybe.
Ain't no way, bro.
It's
Falcons get an early lead in this game. Wraps.
It's gonna be perfect weather.
If the Falcons get an early lead in this game, it is wraps. The only way that the Panthers can win is if they start with a lead. They have to get a lead early. It's the only shot they have.
They're not built to play really from behind, to be honest.
Not with this type of defense, you are holding on to your ass the entire game, hoping that Kirk Cousins loses his fucking mind and throws 3 picks. Yep. Only way.
Falcons. We're in agreement.
Oh yeah.
Bengals Giants. Weird.
I'm picking the Giants. I'm just kidding.
I'm picking the Giants.
Nah, I mean there's some injuries with the Giants, so this is where another game where we're doing this on a Thursday morning. Don't have the full injury report. I'm anticipating the Giants are going to be missing some pieces in their front seven. Thibodeau is going to be on IR, I believe, or not IR, but he had some kind of surgery.
He's week to week on his wrist. Yeah,
he had some surgery, and then Brian Burns, I believe, didn't practice yesterday.
He was limited yesterday.
Yeah. So I think a guy. I mean, they do have one other edge rusher. I did like, and I did talk about in the preview with the team. So they're not effed. They're not effed. But I do think that just losing depth in the front seven, which is the strength of their team, is concerned against a Bengals offense that is explosive. Like this. I saw that Zach Moss didn't practice. He might not be playing. He looked like he wasn't going to come back in the game. I was surprised he even came back in the game. I thought he had a high ankle sprain. He has a foot injury. We'll see how he ends up going, if he plays Sunday or not. He looks like he's not going to. I think this is a potential Chase Brown breakout game. The speed versus this defense could break them. I just think that if he gets into the second level, we've seen him one tackle away from going 70 on a couple different teams, to where this is a game against a Giants team that wants to keep it close. They want to control the clock. They want to play with a lead and apply pressure to opposing teams. I think the Bengals are going to apply some pressure to them this game, and I think that this is an explosive offense that they have not faced yet. So I think this is a Bengals dub. I don't know if it's a blowout. I think that it's a win either way. I don't see them going 1-5. And in New York or not, I don't think that this is a game that, unless I'm overlooking something. Let me just pull up. You want to look at the weather or something like that?
See, I gotcha.
Check the weather with the New York MetLife Stadium type of area.
Sunday.
It's a Sunday night game. It's a night game. Because I know it's gonna be raining in Green Bay, so maybe up in the north.
67 with 15% chance of rain.
I think it's fine. They're fine.
It's chill.
Bengals play in Ohio. It's not like they're hot weather team coming to a cold area, so they're fine. I don't think there's any advantage for the Giants in this game. They just gotta hope they can stay within their game plan of getting up early, controlling the clock, conversion, stay ahead of the sticks, no negative plays. Bengals defense, you can do that too, but the amount of pressure that you're going to be under with the way the Bengals can score from anywhere area of the field, tough matchup.
This one has me scratching my head a bit. I won't lie. Last time I picked the Giants, it just demoralized, like never picking them again. And I do think the Bengals are just so explosive on offense that they can pretty much score any point in the game with Jamar and T.
You're going to be holding on, hoping that you make every tackle if you are the Giants. You cannot miss tackles this game.
However, Giants just went to Seattle and basically held that Seattle team in check the entire time. Yeah. I'm not quite sure this is like – this probably is going to be like
it's a 6.5 point spread. I think that's too much.
Oh, my gosh. That's way too much. I didn't know that, but that's way too much.
I'll fact check myself while you're talking, but go ahead.
But I think the Giants found something last week in Tyron Tracy.
Tracy looked good.
If it does rain for whatever reason later in the game, I kind of like their backs.
It's a 3.5 point spread.
3.5 point spread? Okay,
yeah,
that's way
fair.
better.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's more like it. But in my opinion, I think this Bengals defense has looked awful. It has looked terrible. I'm trying to pull up the injury report right now. Malik is still in concussion protocol. That's not great news.
I was pretty positive that he's looking like he's not going to play.
Yeah,
this is where Thursday morning. Yeah, it's kind of tough.
I'm going to pick the Bengals. I'm going to pick the Bengals solely based on I don't think they go 1-5.
Yeah, agree.
That's the only way. I don't know. This is a weird game in my opinion. You talk about feelings with other games. This is how I feel about this game. I just, for whatever reason,
it's a Sunday night game. Primetime games are always weird.
They're probably gonna just, I don't know. They just have a way of always being close somehow in primetime. But I do think if it comes down to like a field goal or whatever, this might come down. Actually, dude, this might come down to like a game-winning Burrow drive. I just have that feeling for whatever reason. I think it's going to be like 23-20 Bengals, and McPherson makes a kick after missing one or the hold was messed up.
Yep.
I could totally see that being the storyline.
Agree.
I'm picking the Bengals, though. I think if the Bengals win convincingly and I pick the Giants, I'd be like, am I a fucking idiot? Why am I doing this to myself again? But I'm going to pick the Bengals.
Yeah, I just don't feel comfortable picking the Giants in this matchup. I think that they are going to try to do their same game plan of what they've been doing to win. But I think it's very similar to the Patriots and what the Patriots were doing, trying to win games. I do think that their trenches are better than the Patriots. So that's where it's like, maybe a little bit slight advantage to New York. But I think that just the amount of pressure that the Bengals put on teams, just with the way they can score from anywhere, is total advantage Bengals.
Yep. Let's move on to Bills-Jets.
You go first on that one. On this one.
Hey, Jets. I don't know if you saw the news this morning.
No.
Offensive play caller has been changed from Hackett.
It's Aaron Rodgers still.
I think there's a little something more there. I think there's a talking to with Aaron being like, hey, obviously what you're doing is not working 100%. You need to basically check the ego at the door and come in. You are a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ. We get it. We get your accolades. But right now, you're 2-3. Or 2, what is it, 2-3? Yeah, 2-3.
Yeah.
You win this game, you are first place in the division. So if that's not something to play for after your head coach gets fired, your offensive play caller gets fired, everything is basically bailing you out of any criticism because of how many changes they're making within the organization. If they lose this game and Rodgers plays bad, it is all hell is breaking loose on Rodgers.
Just blowing up.
You're going to be on his head. I'm going to be on his head because I'm defending him.
I've been on his head.
You've been on his head. I'm going to be on his head because I'm defending him. And if he proves me wrong again, I'm going to be like, dude, fuck you, Rodgers. I'm done. I'm done defending your ass. But I think they get it done. I think the Bills are good. I don't think Khalil Shakir is playing again. So that's
Khalil Shakir and another bunch of other players. If you look at the Bills injury report,
yeah,
they got
I'll
a lot
pull that up while you're talking. But yeah, I'm picking the Jets.
I'm also gonna pick the Jets.
Oh, let's go, dude! I literally wrote Bills down on your pick already. I was like,
yeah, that's why I wanted you to go first. I wanted you to see what you were saying, so I didn't sway you at all.
Nah,
but
Jets.
I'm picking the Jets as well. There's too many injuries in the Bills to be able to come out and just be able to roll with how they want to play. I think that we're kind of seeing a little bit of what I thought Josh Allen would struggle with. Where, yeah, I know. Go ahead and read off the injuries really quick.
Khalil Shakir and James Cook did not practice.
Thursday.
No Ed Oliver.
It's a Monday night game.
This was today though.
This is their injury report from today.
2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So because they're obviously
it's looking
East
like
Coast.
James Cook could miss the game. Khalil Shakir could miss the game. And there's some others as well.
Ed Oliver's done.
Yeah, Ed Oliver's out. Go ahead and read them off, though, because they have a lot of injuries, like key injuries on offense to where it's like
it's not showing up there.
I'm concerned because I think that the one thing with this Bills defense is that they struggle against power run. I think they struggle against a power running offense, and I think this is a game in prime time. You get Braylon Allen the ball. You run the ball with Braylon Allen. I don't give a damn if you're not run blocking well. You feed that mofo. This is a team where you can run them over. Just like the Ravens did. You can run this Bills defense over. They are built to make you drive the length of the field, capitalize upon mistakes, make you want to pass the ball. And I think with the no Von Miller, soft defensive front of the Bills, the history of Josh Allen making mistakes against the Jets specifically, I do think that there is something to Saleh not being there anymore because Saleh kind of had the number a little bit in terms of making Josh Allen make mistakes. I think that's one thing. Jets look pretty healthy overall, though. And I think in a game like this where it's a must-win, I got to pick the Jets in this game solely based off of anticipation and projection. I'm anticipating and projecting they are going to do what they have to do to win the game and that the ego is going to be checked at the door. This is all projection and anticipation. This is no showing of who the Jets are. Like they have not shown that they want to run the ball. They have not shown that they can stop teams consistently on defense to be able to win games aside from playing the Patriots. So it's like don't feel good about it. I think the Jets are the more healthy team. It's about when you play them, not who you're playing sometimes. And I think that this is a game where Braylon Allen could break out in primetime.
Are you hoping because he's on your fantasy team, or
No, just straight up.
I'm just kidding.
Straight up. I mean, I'm kind of frustrated with Braylon Allen because they don't want to give him the ball. Good player. Game where a physical, dominant, bruising type of running back takes advantage of the Bills' defense. I think that's what I think.
They should use Braylon Allen like the Lions do Monty.
With Montgomery, yes.
And have
100%.
Brees Hall be like Jameer. And if they do that, this Jets team,
it's
is
a
the big
massive
question.
if because of the egos in the building.
Yep. But, dude, I'm telling you, I think Rodgers knows it too. If I'm Aaron and I'm getting literally bailed out because, everyone has a bad game, you know?
Bro passed the ball 54 times versus that Vikings defense. He just went,
that's
I'm gonna pass the ball in a
That's what I'm
close
saying,
game
though.
when he's throwing picks.
This is the last time I'm defending him. If he plays like shit again, I'm hopping on the hate wave. But
Yeah.
with that being said, that rounds out our picks and our little breakdown for Week 6.
So
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Upsets and locks. What we got?
I think my upset of the week is probably Cardinals. My lock is going to be the Broncos against the Chargers.
My lock is the Eagles, and my upset is going to be I think my upset's going to be the Commanders.
Upset?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Upset is going to be the Commanders. Commanders, upset, Eagles, lock. Easy lock, bro.
You think so?
Jalen Hurts, don't do it to me. Do not do it to me.
He might throw 4 picks and just be like.
He might. Don't do it, bro.
That's pretty much rounds it out, Randy. Appreciate it again.
Yes, sir.
As always, we'll be back next week with our recap of Week 6, but appreciate you guys listening. Be sure check out Instagram, TikTok at Let's Talk Ball _podcast. Randy.
Yes, sir. Hope the Hawks don't let me down, bro. I need you.
Yep. We'll see how it goes. Thursday night tonight. Everyone take care.
Peace.
Peace.